When did you take your first Bowen class?
Well, I took it in 1995, January, and I took it because not only did Milton fix my back, he straightened my hammer toes. And when my hammer toes straightened, I said, this is something I've got to learn. I can't just refer patients after all my podiatry patients need this in some way, shape, or form for some thing other than their foot pain or their back pain or their knee pain. And so that's who I was going to send to him. I said, I got to be able to do this myself. So I took a class, and it was about 30 people in the class. This is a big class. And most of them were massage therapists. And the class kind of snowed me under. They taught 23 procedures in 4 days, or they tried to teach 23 procedures in 4 days. And when I started teaching it later on, I said, that's too many procedures, too much stuff. Let's cut it down to the 12 that you're taking in the sequence that I developed. So in the class, we practiced on each other all weekend long, and then I went back to my practice and I started working on the procedures on my patients, those that I had time to do and those that I would put up with me. and and it was amazing. The very first week, I've had about 5 patients come back the second week. One of them said, "You wouldn't believe what happened," and she told me what happened after the treatment for the good. Another one said, "I changed his life," and he told me what happened. Another one flushed some medicine down the toilet, and she didn't need any more. And another one said, "If only the doctors take this holistic, natural approach to our healthcare needs," and it blew me away. Even though I was thinking at the time when they're telling me I'm doing this stuff pretty probably incorrectly, I'm still getting these good results. So the class extended way beyond the class, and the class just got me kind of snowed under and brain dead because it was too much information all at one time. But it was really a good class, and we learned a lot of things. But he left a lot of things out, which I'm going to cover some with you today, so you don't have any surprises like I had when the first 3 or 4 months I was practicing on my patients, and they came back not saying, "Oh, you changed my life," but they say, "Oh, my neck has been killing me ever since I saw you last week," and that took me a little aback, and I didn't know how to deal with it, and it surprised me, and I don't like practitioners to take Michelle's class and have surprises because it might discourage you from continuing on, and also, it, it's better if you can prepare your clients beforehand about these surprises so that they don't get surprised. But that's how I incorporated it in my practice because everybody that has a foot problem almost has been favoring a bit for a long time now, and they have back pain and knee pain and hip pain, back pain from compensating for their foot issues. And so I can, and also the foot issues, I used to get about 80% good results with standard medical surgical treatments. And I was happy with that. I said, hey, fix some of the people some of the time, but not all the people all the time. And so I settled in on that comfort zone, and I found that a lot of foot problems are coming from up above problems, just like the up above problems sometimes are coming from the feet, because the feet are the foundation. And one of the things that I learned, a major thing that I learned, was from my adductor magnus. Most of the time, when somebody's got a pain in their shoulder or their back or their neck, it's coming from somewhere else. Don't look at the back. Don't look at the knee. I do the knee. I do the back, but I concentrate on looking somewhere else for the primary cause, and that's what the spot treatment people in today's Bowen world. There's many kinds of practitioners of Bowen therapy, and one group is targeted treatments. They assess by leg length and tightness and various assessment tools, and determine where the origin of the problem is, treat the origin of the problem and say bye-bye. And say it doesn't take a great deal of time and energy to give a treatment. Patients and clients don't have to spend a lot of time lying at the table, and I kind of agree with that, but I disagree because my podiatry patients who had shoulder problems, I would treat their shoulder and the neck and their back while they're sitting in their podiatry chair getting their feet worked on, and their shoulder or the neck or whatever would get better. They come back a month later and say, oh yeah, you fixed it. Yeah. But they never came back and said, I changed their life. They never came back and flushed medicine down the toilet. They never came back and say, I canceled my knee surgery or my carpal tunnel surgery or those kinds of things. And I said, okay, the spot treatments are good. And that's what Wilton used to do in his living room. Somebody come in, like one of my patients, he had a standing up procedure where you get like a bear hug, belly to belly, and chin to chin, and he go up the back, and he fixed people in standing up on the front porch in his living room. And one of my patients, he fixed their gallbladder issues for 2 years. She's going to have surgery by that just standing up procedure. And he stopped teaching that in this basic class because that was new to me. He didn't teach it originally. He found that many years after I took my class. And he stopped teaching it because the students never practiced the lower back, upper back, neck moves and procedures. They had just always do the standing up procedures because it's so effective. And so spot treatments are good in an emergency or you don't have time. But I think a holistic balancing in the entire body, I learned, is a better system and it's a better thing to do for your patient because it has, we'll talk a little bit in a bit about the systemic effects of Bowen and why that happens and why people get better from issues that you didn't even know they had. They'll come back and say, you know, you fixed my back, but you also got rid of my migraines, or you fixed my back and I also don't get diarrhea anymore, that kind of business. So all that stuff I didn't learn in the class, but I did learn how to basically do the moves and the procedures to start with.
Good.